I recently finished making a feature-length, no-budget movie for less than you'd pay for a theater ticket, a box of popcorn, and a medium drink. It took me 22 months to do it, but I finally got there. I was the producer, director, and the entire cast and crew. A no-budget movie isn't the same as a low-budget movie, and it doesn't mean you didn't spend anything. With a no-budget movie, you don't make a budget for the movie, you just pay as the need arises. A typical Hollywood blockbuster movie starts with somebody writing a script. Afterward, some other people scout the world for the most suitable locations for filming, while some other people audition the hundreds of aspiring actors eager for a role in the movie. The best locations and the best ensemble of actors are then selected. Planning for a no-budget movie, you don't have that luxury. You have to do the reverse. First, you look at your available actors, the available locations, and other resources available to you. Then you ask yourself, what kind of story can I build around the resources I have? In my case, I had one actor, and I was that actor. An elderly country boy from Timmonsville, South Carolina. My available resources were a subtropical island in the Pacific Ocean. More specifically, there were a few spots within an hour or so of my home in the Shilin district of Taipei, Taiwan. I could also avail myself of footage from movies that were in the public domain, most of which were black and white movies that were filmed before 1950. As you can see from the Venn diagram, the pickings were slim. Moreover, I had to avoid locations that appeared more modern than 1950 or which displayed Chinese writing. The only remaining candidates for location shootings were wooded areas and traditional buildings without the Chinese characters. One exception was a recently retrofitted and yet unfinished office building. I set out to do a drama. No, that's not the way it worked out. I ended up settling on a comedy adventure set in the months following the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. In the story, an elderly Timmonsville man journeys to a small island in the Coral Sea just as the Japanese are gearing up for their Solomon Islands campaign. The man, Wiley Oldman, journeys to the island with adventures along the way. After he arrives, he learns about the island and its ways. Let's blow up some houses and scare people. It'll be fun. The man's only hope of escape from the island is by going over the rough country to reach a fishing port on the other side of the island. From that point on, he struggles to survive in the jungle while evading Japanese forces and hoping not to encounter an unspeakable something said to be in the jungle. When you plan for your movie, your resources and limitations won't be the same as mine. In fact, if your movie can have 2 or more actors, that one factor alone will considerably broaden your options as far as locations and stories are concerned. You probably have better technical resources than I did. I used a 2009 model pocket camera, a tripod, a 2011 vintage Movie Maker program, a 2014 model laptop computer, and such 2017 office programs as PowerPoint and Paint. That was it. Costumes and props consisted of stuff I had around the house. The only makeup I used was a homemade mustache. I made no arrangement for filming locations. It was all guerrilla filmmaking. Go there, shoot the footage, and get out. I got B-roll footage from my family vacation films and photos and other footage I shot as opportunities arose. As I mentioned before, I further supplemented the films with clips from movies in the public domain. How do you know if a film is in the public domain? My earliest source was a list I found in Wikipedia. Beyond that, I searched a website called archive.com. You'll also find several video downloading programs on the internet. Now, what about the art of filmmaking? The good news is you've already seen so many movies and television shows that you already know most of what you need to know to make a movie. You probably want to know more. And the Japanese may attack any day now. I suggest you research these 3 areas of filmmaking: camera angles, distances, that's ranging from extreme wide from extreme close-up, and types of transitions between shots. For each, the technique you select should be because it advances the story, not because you think that technique is cool. That's the worst possible reason. In most cases, angles, distances, and transitions should not draw attention to themselves. You'll find tons of videos on those techniques. You'll also find many videos in which successful directors give their tips on filmmaking and storytelling. Here's one tip from me. Find out which directors did not go to film school, but who learned filmmaking by doing it. Those are the ones who will give you the most practical advice. 3 such filmmakers are Steven Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino, and Richard Linklater. There are many others. Here's one more tip. Many videos give advice on how to create special effects, and most of them are trying to sell you something. I watch those videos anyway because as I watch them I'm asking myself, with my resources, is there some way I can do something like that? The answer is usually no, but sometimes it's yes. Not exactly like that, but it can give me ideas. Now let me tell you about 3 common techniques you'll see in Wally Oldman's Odyssey: the cutaway, the cut-on action, and the POV sandwich. The cutaway is often used to shorten an overly long action. In one example, a man starts to peel a banana. The sound of a bird distracts him. We see the bird for a moment and then cut back to the man who is now eating the final bite of the banana. That's the only bite we see him eating. In the cut-on action, the shot is cut in the middle of an action. In the next shot, we see the actor completing the action. To the audience, it looks as if 2 cameras had filmed the same continuous action. In reality, 1 camera has filmed 2 similar actions made to look like one action. The POV in POV sandwich stands for point of view. That is, the point of view from what the actor sees. In the first shot, we see that the actor notices something. Then, from the actor's point of view, we see what the actor noticed. Then we see a closer shot of the actor reacting to what he sees. I mentioned special effects. In Wally Oldman's Odyssey, you'll see many special effects. Even if you've never seen these special effects before, you'll probably know how they're done. You may want to do something similar to these in your movie. Wily old man, I think you'll need this. Thanks. Devin, the Japanese could have just walked in and taken over without firing a shot. Why are they blowing the place apart? I once made a video on how to create a split screen effect. I'll leave a link to that in the video below. In the split screen effect, the screen doesn't have to be split exactly down the middle. One of the video images can be a smaller insert placed into a larger image. I think that's enough to get you started. You'll probably get some other ideas from watching Wiley Oldman's Odyssey. I'll leave a link in the description box. For what it's worth, I filmed most of Wiley Oldman's Odyssey within 200 yards of where I'm sitting. Well, that's the way I did it. Good luck.